MOBA is one of the potentially the hottest game genres in the gaming community right now. Streamed by thousands of gamers, huge prize money in esports tournament, and free to play can easily grab your attention. But if you look at MOBA games, you might be confused at first sight. Because the controls are different from normal game controls, there are also other buttons more than attack button, why others are dealing more damage than you do, and why one tower is not attacking you but the other does. Many questions might be in your mind, and here we are going to sort out all of them. MOBA is also known as multiplayer online battle arenas, getting fame after games like League of Legends and Dota 2 make a huge impact on this game genre. And nowadays even smartphones have their own MOBA games for their platform, which is a good indication of the impact of this genre. But because of different controlling setups, we have trouble playing the game. So here we are going to divide MOBA games into two categories, PC and smartphone, which we will explore. In the year 1974, a game released named Dragon and Dungeon, introducing a new genre of games called RPG or role-playing game. But the limitation of technology was a big trouble for a game like Dragon and Dungeon, and the graphics are not too good. But the concept was new and so amazing it was ahead of time. And this concept needs around 13 more years to show its true potential. Later in 1987, NES was a famous game console available in almost every gamer's living room. And that time of era, a game called Final Fantasy was released on a NES console. And this game changed the gaming industry. On the other hand, we had games like Contra, Double Dragon, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario, Kirby, and many more titles. But Final Fantasy was able to give a new experience. In other games, we had the main character with their game mechanics. But in this game you have 6 characters, but you had to choose 4 characters in game, different from each other and with different abilities, and this gives a different experience to players. Where in other games we play based on button smashing skills like Ninja Gaiden, where we have to be so quick, responsive and ready to press any button to fight without dying. But this game requires a good strategy to complete any level, and this was just the beginning of the RPG game genre. But in MOBA games you have different roles and you can control one character at one time. And you need whole teamwork to finish the objective and claim the victory. Each MOBA games have their different features, but we are going to talk about the game's terminology, objective and basic controls of MOBA games, and how with your 4 other teammates will fight and win the match. Now before we jump into the gameplay, I want to explain some doubts. The PC version of MOBA game is kind of hard because of some reasons. The gameplay requires a mouse click to direct your character, not the WSD controls. And if you're using any joystick for gameplay, it won't be useful at all. The camera is not locked on your character, and because of this it is really hard to understand your location, fight system, and worse, it is hard to understand the threat coming towards you. The mechanics require much complex stuff, like using tier-based equipment, which could be hard to understand for anyone who just start playing the MOBA game, because you don't have a preset equipment. The map is too huge to explore. Fighting in MOBA games are complex and require a much amount of time to fully understand the situation and responses. If you are low on HP or mana, you have to get to the base by walking or using a consumable item. But in the smartphone MOBA version, all of the issues do not exist at all. And smartphone MOBA has some good features that make your gameplay easier for you. Instead of using the mouse, the smartphone version has a joystick on the left bottom side of the screen to provide you better control on the screen. The camera is always locked on your character, so you won't get confused. And you can also shift the camera around the map, but it will set on the player after performing any single action. The mechanics are simple to use and the equipment is easy to build, and you can set equipment before the match and let the game build it for you as the game progresses. The map is medium size, which is easy to explore. Fighting in a smartphone MOBA game is easy. The skill buttons are on the right side of the screen and the attack button is in the right bottom corner, which makes it easier to attack. And with the skills you can drag around and target without much trouble. And last, you can easily return to base with just one tap. So because of those reasons, we are going to talk about the smartphone MOBA version of MOBA games. And for PC MOBA games, we need a fully dedicated video for a specific game but once you understand the basics of the smartphone MOBA version, and later it will be helpful for us to understand the PC MOBA game. In this video, we are using Legend of S as our demonstration, because this game has some unique legends. And the tier-based system equipment or item do not exist at all. Instead, this game provides us with a card system, where you can pick your cards and set them for your early, mid and late game. And to unlock your card, you have to upgrade your level. No gold required to get any card, and because of this, if you are low on earning gold, because enemies keep killing your jungle creeps, this will help you to upgrade yourself by using character level. Every 2 level unlocks a new card for you. And also you can change the card before you draw into the game, but later you can't change it, so be careful here. Every MOBA game has a common map, but with few changes. But what are common in those games are lanes, spawn point, base, jungle, and towers or turrets. So let's learn about each of those topics and the terminology used for those topics mentioned above. These are the paths which is used by your minions or creeps, and the towers are located in those lanes. And in the game there are 3 lanes, defined as top lane, middle lane and bottom lane. And the opposite for the enemy team. A place serves multiple purposes. A start point when a match starts, a point where you are revived after death, provides you with health and mana, and protects you from enemies. If somehow the enemy gets into that zone, they start rapidly losing their HP, and as a result they die. And also same applied to you too. This is the main objective of the game. Destroy the enemy's base and defend your base. If you manage to destroy the enemy base, you win. But if your enemy destroys your base, you lose. The area between the top lane to the middle lane and the middle lane to the bottom lane is called jungle. This is a home for monsters and a good place for an ambush. The jungle could be divided into 2 categories based on the team side, team jungle, enemy jungle, and location of the jungle relative to the middle lane, top jungle and bottom jungle. These are designed to stop your creeps or minion wave to reach the enemy base, and the exact opposite is done by your towers against the enemy minion wave. And if you get into the tower's range without minions, it will start attacking you, and if you have minions but attack enemy hero, the tower will start attacking you. And also same apply to enemies too. But towers only hit 1 target at a time, so no matter how many heroes or minions are there, it will only target 1 at a time. And if any character get hit by the tower, each attack is dealing more damage. So don't stay under the tower for too long. And the base also behaves as a tower as self-defense if minions are reaching to destroy the base. Now you know the basics of the map, it is time to know the basics of the match. Each team has 5 players and 3 lanes, which means at some point someone has to go alone in the lane. There are 3 towers in each lane, a total of 9 towers, and you have to destroy those towers in any lane to reach the enemy base. And same could be applied over your base. But if you're busy destroying enemy towers, enemies can also attack your tower. So here comes the elimination of enemies. And for that we have to learn terminology to understand the match much further. We have to learn about some terminology for some conditions and objects in the game, which helps you to play game much better than any newbie who never play any MOBA game. Away from keyboard is a kind of term used when the player is in the game but not is playing with teammates. This is used when a player is on the low HP or mana and need to return to the base to refill essential requirement for surviving. And also you can order your teammates to return to base when you handle the post, and they will refill their HP and mana. A place to hide from enemies, so you can set an ambush or hide to avoid being detected by your enemies when you are on low HP. A hero who deals massive damage and has the responsibility to kill enemies, so the team could easily reach the enemy space. A wave of your soldiers who lead by you to enemy towers and base, and help you to destroy tower. And when they are in the tower range, the damage dealt by you will be increased. Destroying tower without minion is not a choice, unless the tower is on way too low health and can be destroyed by just few attacks. A basic attack that deals way more than basic damage, including equipment damage. And this is occurring in few chances. And the chance of this kind of attack are defined as crit chance. And the value is a percentage. If the crit rate is 25%, then after every 3 attacks, the next basic attack will deal crit damage. Jumping into enemy tower range to kill an enemy who is easy to kill, which is risky because you are fighting while taking damage. Used to increase your damage, defense, movement, and give you some unique passive, and to acquire those you need gold. A value that is used to define your level, and each level unlocks your skill and help you to upgrade your skills. Killing neutral monsters and minions to increase the level of your hero and earning the gold. Intentionally die by enemy team to provide them more gold and left your teammates defenseless. This is also a crime in MOBA matches, which could be punishable. Setting an ambush into jungle or near the lanes when the enemy found themselves defenseless and easy to kill for you and your teammates. Acquired by killing minions, enemies and neutral monsters and allow you to buy equipment for upgrading your character. When you hit any minion, monster or enemy and they die, this provides more gold and experience for your character in compare when you hit the enemy but someone else hit in the last, which is also important to increase your KD ratio and improving your overall performance. These are stable creatures who are not on either side. Killing them provides you gold and experience and they stay in their position after the spawn. A unique ability which gives you an advantage in match. Both characters and equipment have their own unique passive. Killing enemy minions quickly and demolishing enemy towers to reach the enemy base. Traveling between lanes to gank the enemy players so it will be easy to push lanes. When the enemy team is busy dealing with your teammates and you are pushing the lanes far away from another side of the map, which left enemies in a hard choice to either fight your team or fight you to defend their tower. And this is making a huge impact on any match if you are good enough. So before joining the game, what you should pick in the game is important. And in any match, a good balance of the right characters will make a huge impact to win any game. And here are 6 categories of characters or heroes in the game. And each has its different roles, importance, skills, and attributes as health, damage, movement, range, attack speed, penetration, and defense. Tank, a very important role in ganking and roaming for marksman, fighter, and assassin. Tanks have very high HP and very high defense that ensure their durability in teamfight. They rely on their skills more than basic attacks. Always protect other players from enemy attack, locate enemies who are hiding in the bushes by searching into the bushes, and slow down enemies if they are retreating from a battle zone or the enemies are running towards you when your team is retreating. Warriors or fighters. Also an important role in a team fight and solo in the lane pushing. They have a medium attribute, so not good in a solo fight against 1 versus 2 or above, and they rely on their basic attacks more than skills. They can easily push one lane alone while others are busy in a team fight, and the enemy has to make a difficult choice to fight you or fight your teammates. And also if you have good skills, you can alone manage to kill low HP heroes in 1 versus 1 fight. Assassin. These are born to kill roles in the whole game. They are the carriers of the match most of the time. They have very low HP, so they are not so durable as fighters and tank, but good in ambush and kill heroes who have low HP and easily killed when the enemy is not paying attention. Assassin is very useful in every match. Always ensure confirmed kills of weak enemies, and for that, when the team is fighting against tough enemies, Assassin can crawl back from the other side and make sure anyone with low HP retreat from team fight will be dead, and the more dead enemies are ensuring more defenseless towers. Marksman. These are the second playable character who carries the match. They also have low HP, but they have good durability because of movements and long range. And they are the main fighters in the team fight who deal damage by basic attack and surely are the important one in the match. And they are like salt in a dish. The absence of marksmen make the team weak, but more than 1 or 2 will make the team struggle for victory. Marksman is the highest damage dealer in the game, and because of it, they are mostly targeted by assassins. But with good teamwork, marksmen can carry the entire game. They mostly rely on tank's protection, so in the absence of tank, marksman is more like a dummy who can fight back. Mage. They are different from all of the other characters I mentioned above. They rely on their abilities, but their abilities have the highest damage in the game. Other characters like tanks, fighters, assassin and marksman have skills which could be useful in a team fight, but in terms of dealing damage, mages have the highest damage skills, and this could be a game changer. Mages are also an important role in the match. Their skills with high damage and able to target multiple enemies will make them more useful in team fights. But mages can't stay in the team fight for a long time because of skill cooldown and mana limitation. Support. They are only used if the team plans for full assault against the enemy team, and so for that health is required, and so the abilities to stun and slow down enemies. Support is useful as substitute, but other characters can be support too. Tanks, fighter and mages can be counted as support too. But supports are not good in dealing damage, so in the absence of any high damage dealing hero, supports are the one who die easily. Supports are used for healing high damage dealer characters if they are on low HP. Also with skills they can slow down or stun enemies, which makes it easier to kill them. Also, supports have attributes depends on their other roles. A tank, a fighter, a mage could be a support. So their attributes depend on their other categories, but most of the time they have almost similar attributes as a mage, but their skills mostly heal or stun enemies. Now I mentioned the attributes of the characters, but what is the use of those attributes and how they are helpful to ensure your victory? So those attributes are really useful to anyone who is playing a specific role. If the attributes according to role are wrong, the team will lose the match for sure. HP, as we said, the higher the value, the harder to kill. You may be familiar with this if you play other games too, but in other games where the HP is shown on the screen, in MOBA games the HP bar is shown just above the characters. It is good for users to understand their own HP and HP of both teammates and enemies. HP is also important for passives of equipment that provide some attributes depend on the player or the targeted enemy's HP. For example, tearing can deal damage based on target's max HP. Damage, also known as basic attack damage, this is very important in the match for team carries. The higher the value, the more chance to ensure kill in less time. If you increase that attribute in tanks or support, that will be useless because their attributes won't increase that far, which could be useless. Increase that attribute for assassins, fighter, marksmen and mages. Range. Now this is something you can't control, but these attributes help you to understand how your character will perform in team fights. Mages, support mage and marksmen have the highest range, where they can deal damage with their basic attacks without getting any closer to enemies. But on the other hand, fighters, assassins and tanks have to reach melee range to perform basic attacks. So this helps you to pick a hero based on how you fight, like a brave who can scare away their enemies, or a sneaky ghost who kills and retreat without letting anyone know what just happened. And this could be increased if heroes have inbuilt capacity. Like Arjun can increase the range by Wrath of Gandiv, but it consumes mana per attack. Attack speed. This one also causes more effect in the team fight. If you have high attack speed, the faster attack will perform by your character. This is also useful if you have equipment that requires a faster attack speed to deal with passive, or hero that have some sort of passive that requires high attack speed. And attack speed can be defined by inversely proportional time. For example, if there is a 1 second of delay in 2 attacks, it is called 1.0 attack speed. Skill damage. This depends on your equipment. If you have good equipment build, the higher damage will deal by your skills, and this is mostly required by mages who mostly rely on this to kill enemies. So if you are playing as a mage, make sure to use the right equipment to increase your attributes enough to ensure a kill. Skill cooldown. After using any skill, the skill will be unavailable for a few seconds, and this is called skill cooldown. You can reduce this amount of time by upgrading those skills and picking the equipment which could reduce the cooldown, but the percentage of cooldown can be counted. For example, any skill which has 10 seconds of cooldown, but you have almost 30% cooldown reduction. The skill will be available in 7 seconds. This is useful for both mages and tanks as they rely on their skills more than basic attack. Defense. This attribute is useful against high damage dealing heroes. It will reduce the amount of damage you are receiving, and this is how it works. Penetration. This reduces the effect of armor to increase damage. That's all you have to know. I don't have any explanation. Lifesteal or HP regen. Okay, this one is not an attribute normally available for any character unless they have any passive to provide them this attribute or any equipment. This attribute provides you the ability to regenerate your HP depends on how much damage you are dealing. This is measured in percent. For example, if you have 25% lifesteal and deal 1000 HP damage by the basic attack, this will provide you 250 HP. This is a very useful attribute for marksmen and fighters. Spell Vamp. It is the same but uses skill damage to provide you HP, unimportant attributes for mages and assassins. Movement. And here is one more attribute that is not available for characters. You have to increase it by equipment. It is really useful for both pursuit and retreat in match. If you have low movement, enemy can easily get you from anywhere and also they can escape from you. We know skills are useful, but what exactly are skills in the game? And how many variants skills have? Here we are explaining all type of skills which could be helpful for you to use at the right time. Heal. Mostly a basic skill for support to heal. Sometimes it is available for healing other heroes too, but most of the time it is about healing themselves. Skill Shot. Available for almost all characters somehow. You can just directly aim it and shoot in that direction. It can deal damage in the range. Outside of the range, it won't be effective. Also, this one have a variation of fan-shaped skill, where you can target the area near hero and select the area of damage by release. Area of effect or AoE. Mostly mages, assassin and marksmen have this kind of skills. You can just use this skill and set an area on damage. It is useful against minion waves and enemy groups. You can target any area by aiming or just spread it on a line like a skill shot. Crowd control or CC. In both cases, if the enemy is running away from you or running towards you. This skill has two forms, the slowdown effect and the stun effect. And also this skill can be work as AoE with CC and skill shot with CC. In a team fight, stun is useful to target high damage dealer and slowdown effects is useful when the tank or fighter have to provide cover to team carry while retreating. Push, pull or initiator. Any skill that can take any enemy from their position and shift to another position. And this is helpful in many ways when the team needs to take out high damage dealer by not approaching but drag the target into the ambush. Dash, blink or movement. A skill that provides you movement in direction faster than your movement speed. These are called movement skills, useful in both pursuit and retreat. In some cases you can also go through walls to ensure enemies can't chase you for a long time. But make sure your skills is not on cooldown. Summon. An ability to summon an ally who can help you in a team fight. Useful if you want to stay away from trouble and let your soldiers fight on the battleground. And also useful if you have to retreat but enemies won't let you. The summoned allies will fight for you in this condition. Buff. After using those skills, you can have some extra damage by basic attack or increased range or skills will deal more damage. Invisibility. Make you unable to target by enemies for few seconds. And useful to escape from serious situation. Mostly available for marksmen and assassins. This is the thing that changed the attributes more effective more than anything in the game. There is unique feature that only provides by a specific equipment or the hero had a unique passive. Passive is also important to understand to know which equipment is suitable for some conditions, and one more important note to know is passive provides some advantage which cannot be provided by the attributes. Here for example we have Dance of Withering which provides us attack speed whenever we hit enemy with critical attack, which is useful for any marksman which already have good damage and all need is attack speed. Emergency treatment provides HP generation based on max HP, which means it is really useful for tanks which have the highest HP in the game, and they can survive for longer in the game with this card. Frosty Bite passive provides slow down enemies by skills, which is useful for mages like Hestia, Tlalok, Edic and any other which have area of effect skills in the game. And in my personal opinion it is really good for Morirawa as first card, as he can slow down enemies with his first skill and make sure they won't escape while he is dealing massive damage. Orb Recovery can recover 3% of max health and mana for killing enemy minions and 10% killing for enemy heroes. So if you are using mage that play as support like Hestia, it is really effective. Black Powder provides 60% attack speed in early game. If you use it as first card, and using any skill will provide you attack speed for 2 seconds. And timer will reset after hitting any hero, which means as long enemies are getting damaged, you have additional 60% attack speed. There are also some other exclusive cards that provides a different passive, which could be more effective than attributes. For example, Medusa have Petrified Rain as early tier card, which turn enemies into stone after getting 8 attack by Fatal Serpent Flock. Another example is Snake Barrage, where Medusa turn her extra 2 split arrows into superfluous arrow, which attack same target, which increases the damage per attack. And Snake Shadow that add extra 2 arrows on split arrow, and if you using both at same time, that provides 4 superfluous arrow, means too much damage without increasing damage attributes on higher level. All of the mentions above are the example of passives that provide by equipment/cards. But heroes have their own unique passives too, which cannot be equipped without using that hero. For example, Arjun can regen mana by performing basic attacks, which is useful to perform skills without much issue. And if you are low on mana to perform ultimate, just perform basic attacks. Odin can regen HP with the Soldiers of Valhalla, and if they die before timer runs out, Odin regen his HP according to time left on timer, which makes him more deadly as he got good amount of HP supplies. And Vari have ability to knock enemy after every 4 attacks, which is useful if he have very high HP and team's marksman is focused on enemy while you keep stunning them, which is way better than using skills to stun someone. Passives have wide variety and methods to use, but it is all about how your intelligence work and you understand which passive fits where as piece of puzzle. Now, the information about game is really useful for you, but utilizing the information is the key to victory. No matter how the team performs, the right coordination between teammates for offense and defense will ensure more chances of victory. And as once wise person said about life, it is important to know what you should not do, more than knowing what you should do. Same applies here. Some of the players doing things without knowing what is going on and do things that could be a result as defeat. And to avoid this, all you need is to understand what are the common mistakes. Being Daredevil. Now many idiots who are new to MOBA games have this problem. They think they are Daredevil who can kill anyone without thinking twice. And they just jump over when have low HP and without understanding the enemies and ended up losing their life and losing the game. So ensure if you have enough HP, only then jump into the fight. Because sometimes enemies hide into the bushes to lure you into the fight where you have less chances to escape and get killed. Lack of understanding of position. In the starting of the game, many people have no idea which lane they should pick. Either they wait or just jump into where they plan to fight. But for newbie players, I suggested you to pick bottom lane in first place, because all threats coming towards you are from either top side or from left side. None of them coming towards from your downside, because your hands are covering that area and it is hard to see any movement there. So once you are master in understanding enemies, try to move to location you desire. But if someone is already taken it and you don't have any other choice, try to choose another lane and start increasing your level. And once you are strong enough to roam solo, leave your lane and start hunting enemies if you are high damage hero, or assist allies if you are tank, support or mage, understanding when to fight and when to farm. Now this is a very important thing where people make mistake. Imagine you are farming in jungle and enemy shows up in front of ally who is near you, and you are close to kill that monster. Will you leave your monster for helping your teammate or just focus on farming? This is a tough question, because it is very important to know what should be your priority. Many players either ignore their teammates and focus on farming, and sometimes they even still farming when tower is under attack. So always set your priority before going to match. Wrong way to play as hero. Now this one is really messed up mistake anyone could do, and cry later because they don't know what to do. So you better go to versus AI game or just custom to practice your hero, to learn how to use his skills, how to set an ambush, learn what is priority of that hero in first place, and in the last how to set proper equipment and use it for some purpose. MOBA provides a new experience that is hard to get by any adventure, FPS, RPG racing and horror game. Unpredictability, multiple combinations of equipment, different teammates, different skills and unique passive make the game way harder for anyone who doesn't know the battlefield of MOBA. So knowledge is power here, but always remember, knowledge without experience is useless. That's all for today's video. I know I take a lot of time to make this, but you know how much I have to handle every single day. And I try my best to bring some more works to you as soon as possible. And I really want to thank those people who did their best to bring the best content to you. Foxtrot, Jade, Alexa and Ellie to help me to complete this project. If you like our work and you want to support us, please do this so we can bring more quality content to you. The donation links are on the screen. You can support us by PayPal, UPI or Patreon. We will see you in the next video with some new topic and with more informative content. Till then, just practice what I taught you in this video. And if you want to be pro in gaming, check out our other works as well. Thanks for watching.